So fish can breathe underwater, so why can't we? This February, I took a scuba diving class through Alex Tech here, and it was my first time ever going scuba diving. It was my first time I ever got to breathe underwater with no restrictions. You just have your regulator, is what it's called, in your mouth, and then you're able to breathe normally through your mouth, definitely not your nose. But anyways, it was the first time that I got to experience what a lot of scuba divers call a limitless feeling. It's just because you have like no gravity really on you, because you control something called your buoyancy, which is just kind of like your stability and stuff in the water. Anyways, so first we're going to talk about what scuba diving is, and then how scuba diving can save lives, and lastly, that scuba diving requires a special training. So let's dip our toes into the water and talk about what scuba diving is. Scuba diving is a worldwide recreational activity, and what it is you go underwater with an oxygen tank, and then you're able to, like with fins and a mask, and you're able to swim through the water and breathe regularly and just look at the coral and the environment. And scuba diving is in many countries like Africa, Australia, Mexico, Central America, and very popular in Asia too. So there's tons of scuba diving places and dive sites out there. And once you're certified, you usually get certified through a company called PADI. And if you go to like any country and you show them your card, or you just mention that you're PADI certified, they will know what that means, because it is a worldwide scuba diving company teaching people how to scuba dive. So, but sometimes the currents change in the water, and there's times where rescue diving is needed to save lives. But there's a whole separate rescue diving course, and according to Rutger Thole in January of 2013, the rescue diver course is designed for public safety personnel in water rescue operations, but it's not just defined for firefighters, EMS people, police, military, or volunteer workers. It's actually for anybody who wants to take the course. They can take the course separately, and according to an independent guide to diving the world, the rescue diver course teaches many things, including how to keep yourself safe and how to do in-water rescuing skills. So sometimes, like if someone's underwater and their oxygen tank has run out and they don't have an extra, you're going to need to know how to do that. And there's also a sickness if people ascend out of the water too quickly. And so sometimes a rescue diver can go in and help that person ascend, or help them after they've ascended into just like regaining that pressure, because there's a pressure change. And lastly, it requires some training, because if you don't have the proper training, things can go wrong. One of those things is decompression sickness, and what that is when you go underwater, the pressure in your body changes because your lungs, the air in it, expands, but obviously your lungs don't really want to expand that much, otherwise they can burst. So the main important thing with scuba diving is that you come up really slowly, because if you don't, that air expands and your lungs can't stretch that far, and so it can cause some sickness. And the only way to fix that is to go into one of these. It's called a recompression chamber, and basically they just pressurize you again and then slowly take you out of it the way that you were supposed to when you were like supposed to slowly ascend. So, and it's not just like you get sick for a few days and then you get better. It's actually, it can be fatal if you ascend wrong, so that's why the training is really important, because according to C. Azdova, he was in an article over neuroradiology in 2005. There was a 44-year-old man who died from decompression sickness because he ascended too quickly, and he was at a depth of 120 meters, which is really, really deep, and he came up way too fast. So basically, scuba diving, you just need to have the proper training, and so now we're not the only ones. So now fish aren't the only ones who can breathe underwater thanks to scuba diving. So can we.